All right, ladies and gentlemen, Keith Johnson here. Welcome aboard. Today we are going to revisit a long debunked myth concerning Classroom 10, more particularly the rounds that were fired into this window, or rather the metal frame of this window, from the Bushmaster that the shooter was armed with. Now, those bullet holes that I'm referring to can be seen at the end of these pink rods that you see inserted into those holes. One of those rods you can't see too well, but rest assured there are 4 bullet holes in this metal frame. Now, this particular picture was taken from inside the school. If you look out this window, you'll see the parking lot. Now, just a little background. According to the investigative report by the Connecticut State Police, the shooter was positioned approximately here by the restroom inside room 10 when he fired those rounds through the window at this angle. That's what the report tells us, and that's what we accept as fact. Not so, says some hoaxers, some Sandy Hook conspiracy theorists.
Look at this bullet hole. That metal is protruding into the room, curling down at the bottom, curling slightly up at the top. This one right beside it that doesn't have a trajectory rod in it yet is curling up at the top, out or inwards and up. Those surely indicate that those were fired from the outside in. See, that metal is going outwards and up, outwards and down on the bottom, outwards and appears to be the right on top. Those sure look like those come from the outside in.
Okay, now that video was created on the 14th of September, and I think you'd agree that he didn't sound 100% committed, just merely stated that it looked as though that was an exit hole. However, on the 16th, 2 days later, he came out with this video, and he was thoroughly convinced. As you can see here, he says, well, here is yet another one that can't be debunked. You hear that? It cannot be debunked. This shot came from outside of the school. So now he is thoroughly convinced that at least one of those shots originated from outside and definitely did not come from within. All right, just briefly, in his first vain attempt to make his case, he refers to some outdoor video footage of Classroom 10. This is footage taken from the outside looking in. It was taken at night. As you can see here, this is the reflection of a flashlight, which is beaming down on this metal frame. Here are the 4 bullet holes. And our hoaxer proceeds to engage in some amateur shadow analysis in an attempt to convince us that at least one or more of these holes are entrance holes rather than exit holes. Now, I'm not going to even entertain this argument, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we're talking about someone who has no ballistics forensic training whatsoever. As a matter of fact, he's told us on several occasions that he doesn't even own a gun. And we're supposed to accept his argument, his amateur shadow analysis? I don't think so. I can't tell from looking at this whether these are exit or entrance holes, and neither can he. As a matter of fact, folks, I have approached ballistic experts in the past, one time referring to some very clear photographs of the magazine rack that was in the lobby of Shees, and they told me straight out. They said, yeah, these are really good photographs, but without me having the hands-on physical evidence, I can't really make a good determination. So if he can't do it, then our hoaxer here certainly cannot, and you should not even for one moment entertain his hypothesis, okay, or theory. Now let's move on. He's going to proceed now to tell us why this shot came from outside of the school and why his claim cannot be debunked. Here we go.
Now this is a magnification of 200% and zoomed in. But note, if you will, the metal portrays out and upwards at the top, out and to the right on the right side of the hole, out and down to the bottom. Once again, you can see shadowing at the bottom of the bullet hole, so, indicating that my analysis of the shadow outside is right, because we can see the shadow is out. And here's the other bullet. Now I want you guys to pay attention. This one is not in the bottom of the bullet or the window frame. I don't want nobody accusing me of showing the same picture twice. Okay, see, we got the bottom of the window frame on this one. Once again, metal fragmentations coming out and upwards at the top, out and to the right at the bottom, or to the right side, and out and down to the bottom. Clear indication these shots did come from the outside in. At least the two on the right did.
Now, I'm not sure if our hoaxer is aware of this, but his claim was put to rest more than a year ago by my friend C.W. Wade over at sandyhookfacts.com. As you can see in this July 3rd, 2014 post, he was messaged on Facebook and asked this question: does this look like an exit hole? And they provided this photograph, the same one we've been referring to. And Wade responded, the answer is no, it does not look like an exit hole. Having been a small arms instructor who has been around countless rounds downrange with a 5.56 millimeter round from M16s, M4s, and the M249 saw, and as the owner of AR-15s myself, I can categorically state that looks exactly how metal looks when it's been fired into with that type of ammo. There is a mushroom effect. And what he means by that mushroom effect is when the metal comes out and then kind of bends backwards or curls in, as you can see right here. Okay. Lanza, the shooter, used S&B 5.56 by 45 rounds. And I want you to keep a mental note of that, folks. 5.56 by 45. He goes on to say, on my to-do list for a while is to find a piece of similar aluminum scrap and get the exact S&B ammo used by Animal Lanza and do a debunk video. And he did just that. At the bottom of this page is that video, and we're not going to play it here. I will leave you a link to it so you can see it for yourself. But he did his own field test and showed, without a doubt, that the metal reacts in the same way as the metal did in room 10 when he did his independent field test. Okay, what I'm going to do now, my contribution here, above and beyond what CW8 has already done, is give you some corroborating evidence to support the fact that metal reacts in that manner when it is fired on by a 5.56 millimeter round. And my first exhibit A here, my first piece of evidence, comes from AR15.com, a forum for gun enthusiasts. This post was made on August 14, 2011. So that was more than a year before the Sandy Hook Elementary School shootings. You can't accuse us of planting this information here. And this poster says, okay, so the other day I was shooting my Colt LE 6940. I had some targets hanging from a 1/8 inch aluminum yardstick about 30 to 40 yards out. Okay? Make a mental note of that. A 1/8 inch aluminum yardstick. Okay? And he took photographs of both the entry and the exit into that aluminum yardstick. See how this protrusion, it's kind of like a hill going up, such as it is with this one. Look at this round, 5.56 by 45, the exact round that was used by the shooter Adam Lanza in his Bushmaster. And you see this mushrooming effect here, where the metal goes up and then curls back. Now, to the untrained eye, this would appear to be an exit hole, but no, that's an entry hole in a very thin piece of metal. This is what the exit looks like. As you can see, the mushroom, you don't see that mushrooming effect. It's more of a straight up, like you're looking down into the mouth of a volcano. But what we're mostly interested in is this mushrooming effect that you can see here, this curling back of the metal and this protrusion that's coming up on entry. So here's just a little side-by-side comparison, what we just showed you. And here's classroom 10, the window frame. Same kind of curling back mushroom effect as we see here. Okay. Okay, next I have a live action demonstration here, courtesy of Team Such. They have a video on YouTube called Ballistic Penetration Testing. And the gentleman here tests a variety of different firearms and ammunition on this 1/4-inch plate of hot rolled steel. So we'll see how our 5.56 millimeter holds up to that. Okay, now just before they test out the 5.56, which is what we're interested in, this gentleman here is going to use a 9mm handgun with full metal jacket rounds onto this plate of hot rolled steel. And the reason that I want to show this first is to show you that we are looking at the rounds coming straight on to this plate. All right. Because those 9mm rounds don't go all the way through, and I just don't want to be accused of trying to pass off exit holes for entrance holes. Okay, so let's get started.
9mm full metal jackets, 1/4-inch hot rolled. All right, the hot rolled steel, 9mm, here and here, no big deal. Even down here, that third shot. No deformation on the back either. We're going to start out with some standard 223, 5.56. This is 55 grain from HPR. Okay, we're going to shoot standard 5.56 or 223, 55 grain into this hot rolled steel. This is 1/4 inch. Straight through. HPR 55 grain.
All right, let's freeze frame right there, and as you can see, there's your 3 entrance holes. All right, and if you don't believe me, just rewind a few seconds and you will see this is the exact same pattern that gentleman shot those rounds into this 1/4-inch piece of rolled steel. Okay, and to the untrained eye, these might appear to be actually exit holes, because you have an incline here, or a protrusion, where it's almost like a hillside going up, and then you have this mushrooming effect where the metal almost fragments into petals and curls back. Same effect that we saw on that 1/8 inch piece of aluminum yardstick, and the same effect that we see on that metal window frame in classroom 10. Now let's advance here a little bit and you can get a better look at it. See the mushrooming and how it appears to almost be an exit hole. Now those are the actual exit holes right there. You don't have the mushrooming effect. Not saying that you would not have protruding pieces of metal. In most cases you would, that I've seen anyway, but in this particular case, not so. To the untrained eye, these might even appear to be entrance holes, but they are not. Clearly, these are the exit holes. All right, and so here we have them all grouped together here, all 3 examples. The one we just saw, then of course the aluminum yardstick, and of course the window frame from classroom 10. All 3 examples share the same characteristics. You got the protrusion or the incline coming outward, as you do here and here, as well as the metal coming out and curling back or flaking as it does in all 3 examples. All 3 of these are entrance holes, not exit holes. Don't let anybody try to convince you otherwise. All right, well, that just about wraps it up. But before I leave you, I just wanted to touch on one last thing. It's a little off topic, but nevertheless, as I was going through this video, Sandy Hook Room 10 fire, to collect clips for this video, I noticed that our Hoaxer here was perplexed about a certain evidence marker, and I knew the answer to the question that he was posing, so I thought I'd go ahead and answer it for him. But let's let him lay it out for you first, and then I'll come in with the clarification.
Bullet hole 15, BH 15, all right? Now, why is this the only one that's indicated? SBH 1, room 10. Let's see if I can blow that up for you a little bit. SBH 1, the first shot from this particular one. Shotgun bullet hole 1, room 10. Now we do know we have one officer's statements indicating that a shotgun was used inside. But we'll get into that when we get into officer statements.
Okay, hold on. No. Before all of you go out there spreading the rumor that a shotgun was used and that S stands for shotgun bullet hole, number 1. No, the S does not stand for shotgun. There was no shotgun used inside the school, and this evidence marker it does not indicate that. The S does not stand for shotgun. The answer you're looking for is on page 27 of document 00118939 in CFS 12007-04597. S doesn't stand for shotgun, it stands for suicide. There was a hole consistent with a bullet hole located in the ceiling tile, located approximately 8 feet 1 inch from the south wall and 5 feet 2 inches from the east wall. This hole was documented in photographs as SBH number 1, room 10. This projectile struck but did not penetrate a corrugated metal ceiling that was, and you can continue reading on if you so desire. But yes, SBH, suicide bullet hole number 1. There was only one of these, and that's why you will only see SBH one time. One suicide shot. And since we're on the subject of official reports and where you can find them, I just wanted to remind you about my website, newtownpostexaminer.com, where I'm quite behind in getting this thing updated, but one thing it's good for is this page right here, this link, official reports. Just click on that, and it will take you to a page that has all 9 books right here for you, including the processing scene at the Sandy Hook Elementary School and the investigation of homicide at Yogananda and all sorts of other juicy things. So check that out and do your own research. And hopefully we'll see each other soon and pick up where we left off or start with something entirely different. Either way, until we meet again, this is Keith Johnson signing off.